Alright, peace, Mekia. I hope you're doing well. And this is going to be your reading. Alright, so first and foremost, the eclipse is taking place on your fourth house. So the home life is going to be of great importance. Things that are private and kept hidden from the public are also going to be of great importance. You feel me? And so this can even be like things dealing with your mind. You feel what I'm saying? Because the fourth house, yeah, it deals with the home, but it's like what the thing that is most of the home for you is is your is your mind. You feel what I'm saying? And the fourth house is associated to the moon. The moon very much does rule the mind, rule over the mind. You feel what I'm saying? And so the fourth house is the house of companionship, right? It deals with those companions that embrace the home. It also, being a psychic house, its influence are very psychical, right? It's a house of foundation as well. It deals with inherited tendencies that you inherited from like your parents. You feel what I'm saying? But it also deals with like your spiritual heritage as well, your ancestors as well. You feel me? Because it's the house of foundation, right? So whatever and whomever is supporting you, familiarly speaking. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. So with the moon being in Libra, right, it's an indication of like relation, like the way that the lunar eclipse is going to influence you. It's going to deal with relationship toward energy, for what I'm saying. And so there is going to be an influence of someone coming into your life that is going to be a partner to you, and this individual probably already came. And I feel like when we were talking and you were sharing with me your experiences with that guy, what I'm saying, I feel like we had to have that conversation. So actually what had happened was I already did your reading. I spent a whole hour doing it, and then I accidentally deleted it, and then I was like, what the heck? And then I was like, you know what, do it again. So I'm doing it again. So I technically already did this, but yeah, and so as I was doing it and I was unraveling certain things, I realized that it was the likeliness of us talking about the person the person you already had the relation with is high, and I'll get into it as well. But yeah, so with the moon being here, it is a call for you to learn how to balance your work life, your work life and your home life, because like the lunar eclipse is also going to be opposing your MC, right, in your fourth house. So the moon is going to be in your fourth house and it's going to be opposing your MC, which indicates a balance between work life and home life. But like when we're talking about oppositions, it's an energy of separation. You feel what I'm saying? So there's an indication of separation between kind of like a tug of war of like pick one, or you're gonna stay in your comfort zone, because the fourth house is very comfortable, right? Nothing changes in the fourth house. It's a pretty fixed house. It's pretty it is an angular house though, and so it is very influential and very impactful, right? So with this lunar eclipse taking place in your fourth house, the lunar eclipse is going to bring tremendous amounts of influence onto you. And the first thing we can talk about is the conjunction between your moon and your natal moon and the eclipse or the transit moon. And so it's going to be of great importance for you to understand that. So the in conjunction, it kind of separates things, and it's like a Neptune influence, right? It's likened to the in conjunction is likened to Neptune, and so it's kind of somewhat of an illusionary experience of like kind of when we're talking about the moons. So like what the transit moon does is it brings stimulation to you that stimulates you to respond and react a certain way. And so because it's in conjunct, you're not completely going to be able to pinpoint and like target what exactly is soliciting emotions within you. You feel me? And this is going to be profoundly expanded with the lunar eclipse, rather I should say solar eclipse. Like with you being a moon in Pisces already, you feel me? Like moon in Pisces, they're very impressionable, right? Because Pisces is a sign that's collective water. It deals with bodies of water, but especially bodies of water that are like lakes and things like that. You feel me? It can also deal with rivers, but like Cancer deals with bodies of water that are in constant motion and movement. You feel what I'm saying? Um, but like Pisces more deals with bodies of water that are in a cup. Like they're still moving, but they don't really have um, the ease of flow that Cancer does. But like Scorpio is fixed water. You feel me? So it's water that's frozen or pressurized under, crystallized through pressure. That's Scorpio. But anyways, with Pisces, you feel me? There is already the sense of like um, impression from the currents that you receive from the outside world, whether that's you experiencing having experiences with people, and or having experiences with the vibrational characters um, of objects, because everything has a vibrational like frequency or character. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like certain crystals, certain technology, everything. You feel what I'm saying? And so Pisces, they're more impressionable and they're more receptive to it than most people. So already there may be this unconscious energy of like absorbing and taking in people's energy. But then it's like the lunar eclipse, it's kind of going to put you in a place where you're going to have to learn how to find a way to connect the dots between why am I going through what I'm going through and what has triggered me to go through this. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be of benefit and value for you to do so. And so, fortunately, the lunar eclipse is going to be trining your Mercury. And so the lunar eclipse trining your Mercury, it's an indication that the vehicle you are going to use in order for you to gain clarity and awareness about the things that are influencing you emotionally are mercurial. So journaling, you feel me? Starting to journal more and write more, you feel me? But also communication. Communication is going to be of great importance, you feel me? Learning how to communicate. Not learning how to communicate, but communicating with those partners, you feel me, that are, because with the lunar eclipse being in Libra, it's an indication that that individual which is going to solicit those emotions to you is going to be a partner. Like, even though Libra is a sign of partnerships, Libra is also the sign that just embraces the public world at large. You feel what I'm saying? But I think partnership is more ideal because we are dealing with the fourth house, and the fourth house is the house of companionship, but more like emotional companionship, intimate companionship, because it's companionship that deals with the home life, you feel me? People you're comfortable with from a place of home. But yeah, so like with the moon the moon trining your Mercury, it's of great importance that you get into journaling your emotions, and this is not, and also like with the moon in conjuncting your natal moon, I think like journaling and writing your dreams out would also be of great benefit and importance to help you understand benefit and importance, of benefit and importance, you feel me, when it comes to like gaining a greater clarity upon what is emotionally influencing you. And it's funny, I talk about journaling your dreams, but it's also very much mercurial effort, you feel me? So I'd highly recommend that you start getting into journaling, you start writing, and leverage that, you feel what I'm saying? But also leverage communication, right? And um, and this can be, and this should be communication with people that like you feel you can trust, on people that you feel you can express your emotions to, like because we're dealing with the moon here, the transit moon, right, and we're dealing with Mercury, and so making an effort to try to verbalize and put your not even, yeah, verbalize most definitely, but it's like Mercury being in Sagittarius, I think you may more want to approach your perception and your perception and your your perception of life through like just first and foremost experience. Like experience is one of the greatest ways for you to right, with Sagittarius being here, experience is one of the greatest ways for you to acquire knowledge, but also wait, where's my bad, it's not even, I don't know why I thought, but no, it's not in Sagittarius, it's in Aquarius. So actually rationalizing and communicating, you feel me? So definitely do that. But I think I should move forward because I don't want to sound like a broken record. Alright, and now let's look into like so now let's look into the in conjunction between the transit moon on the 14th of October and your Jupiter. So there's also going to be a transit, an in conjunction between Jupiter and the transit moon. And so like I mentioned, the moon, it brings to you stimulation, right? And so Jupiter is the planet of expansion, right? It's positive expansion, expansion through like warmth and things like that. Now there may be this inability to understand that the emotions you're being stimulated to experience through a partner, because we're talking Libra, is actually in reality helping you expand and helping you grow. Like there may be an inability to really comprehend and get that, you know what I'm saying, but that is most likely what is going to be happening. And so also I want to say this with there are a couple aspects from these planets, you know what I'm saying, to your moon, which is in the 9th house. And these aspects, like for example, we can talk about it right now. Like right now, you feel me? You're going through a transit with Pluto, and Pluto is sextiling your Jupiter and your moon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sextiling your Jupiter and your moon. And so with Pluto sextiling your Jupiter and your moon, this brings a theme of energy of growth, but growing through an experience that may feel corrosive. You feel me? Because Pluto's influence is to an extent corrosive, meaning that it brings to you certain experiences that are of great extreme. Like Pluto is either horrendous, right, in its expression, or pure and really spiritually inclined in its expression. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like it's either Halloween type energy or Namaste, peace, we've saved the world type energy. It's like of great importance to understand that Pluto is a planet of cooperation, and it deals both with cooperations from a perspective of negative influences working together, but also positive influences working together. You feel what I'm saying? So Pluto, it is intense, right? And it is very polarized in its expression. It can either be very harmonious and good for you, or very bad and detrimental for you. And so for starters, with the moon being sextiled by the transit of Pluto right now, and this is going to last a while, right? Not too long. I think most like a year. Because Pluto, yeah, it takes a while to move, but it does move. It does move nevertheless. And so with Pluto sextiling your moon, it's of great importance to understand that these immense, intense experiences you're having, especially of an emotional kind, in reality are gearing towards helping you expand and grow. And right, the sextile is an aspect of opportunities, and so it's an opportunity. Like the things you're going through, they are opportunities for you to grow and for you to expand. So it's important for you to do the necessary shadow work. I feel like it's very much Plutonic and the moon as well. In certain studies of astrology, Pluto is associated with the moon being the higher octave of the moon, simply because the moon deals with the immediate family, right? Taking care of your home, your family members. Meanwhile, Pluto deals with corporations and people working together for a common purpose, but on a larger scale, right? Things like gangsters, corporations. I already said that. You feel what I'm saying? Things like that. You feel me? So and I can see it, but then other people also say Pluto and Mars are octaves of each other, which I can somewhat also see. But I feel like because Pluto is not as physical as Mars, but more spiritual and metaphysical, I feel like the moon association is more prevalent. So ultimately, Pluto, you feel what I'm saying? Pluto, you have to understand, is a sign of spiritual. It's a sign that deals with the inner realm, right? It deals with the inner inside of things, the inner inside of things, the inside of things in general. So you have to understand that this transformation is internal. It's dealing with your inner world and these opportunities that are coming to you to expand, because Jupiter is also here, right? Jupiter also being sextile by Pluto. It's a gauge on, you're going through experiences in your life right now where your philosophy is needing to be expanded, where your paradigm is needing to be expanded, and where you would actually also benefit from like picking up certain philosophical books and revisiting even certain beliefs that you hold of prominence to you. You feel what I'm saying? And becoming, in a sense, geared in that manner. I hope that makes sense. Geared in that manner, in the sense that geared in enlightenment, because that's what the ninth house is. It deals with books and things like that. Yeah, so it's pretty much like the moon and the Jupiter. And like with Pluto, sextile, and Jupiter also, it's kind of an energy where it's like harsh experiences may be happening, but such harsh experiences in the long term, because Jupiter's influences long term, are in actuality cultivating and assisting you to be more Jupiterian-like, so to be more capable of seeing the bigger picture and more capable of generosity and love and giving. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, though, like I already mentioned, shadow work would be of benefit and of great importance here. So now let's look into so we talked about the inconjunct between Jupiter and the moon. The inconjunct between Jupiter and the eclipse is going to play out in a manner where you're not going to be able to, per se, well, actually, in conjunction, depending on the aspect, it can be harmonious or it can be detrimental. But there's always the separation energy of like not really completely understanding why something is happening or where it's happening from, but kind of like not being able to connect the dots of like, okay, so I'm going through these emotions, and these emotions as a result are influencing my Jupiter, and so they're expanding me. But kind of like being like, I'm going through all these emotions, but I'm still having an ability to be somewhat optimistic and positive and kind of know that this too shall pass. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so it is of great importance to understand and connect it and realize that ultimately these experiences you're going through are to expand you and elevate you. And so like with the lunar eclipse, it's kind of gonna progress that energy. You feel what I'm saying? And it's really gonna accelerate that growth. All right, and so let's also talk about the sextile that's happening between Uranus and Pluto. My bad, Uranus and Venus. So with Uranus and Venus being sextile and being in the fifth house, right? This is an indication of like this influence of the lunar eclipse is going to bring to you opportunities when it comes to love affairs. You know what I'm saying? And such opportunity with Uranus being involved is going to be unconventional, untraditional. You feel me? And somewhat unreliable and very eccentric. You feel what I'm saying? Because Aquarius is not Aquarius. Uranus's influence is very unconventional, eccentric. You feel what I'm saying? Uranus, for example, its moons, they rotate in reverse. You feel what I'm saying? And with the moons of Uranus rotating in reverse, it also gives us insight into its character, on how it kind of turns away from the traditional and kind of embraces the untraditional. But unfortunately, it is unreliable when it comes to affection. So there may be like this unreliable energy when it comes to your dynamic with this individual, because like I keep saying, because we're dealing with Libra energy, we have to very much take into consideration the partnership. There's a partner involved. But yeah, anyways. But at the same time, we have Venus sextiling. We also have the solar eclipse sextiling your Venus. And so Venus, on the other hand, is like it's more harmonious. You feel what I'm saying? And Venus brings forth love, experiences of love. You feel me? That can be sources of harmony. And so this is all happening in your fifth house. So it's of great importance for you to understand that with the lunar eclipse happening in your fifth house, sorry, like this plane is up in the sky and it just caught my attention. Like it's a crazy view to see. Like what is that? Like what the heck? It's weird. But anyways, with Venus on the other hand, it is an indication that this dynamic, although being influenced by Uranus and being unreliable, nevertheless can act as a source of like harmony, if what I'm saying, and play as a form, play as a form of harmony between like your fourth house and your fifth house, right? Because the moon is like in the lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, I should say, is in your fourth house, right? In the beginning degrees of your fourth house. But then you have Venus and Uranus in later degrees of your fifth house. So this makes like a sextile type energy. Yeah. And so I guess like honestly the harmony may even play out in a manner of like this individual may assist you in for starters, learning how to open up and be more vulnerable, because we're dealing with the fourth house, but simultaneously because we're dealing with the fifth house as well. The dynamic and connection may be revolving and dealing around companionship, dealing with love affairs, right? So like intimacy and connectivity in that manner. But I'm thinking right now. Okay, so yeah, Libra. Libra and Sagittarius. So I guess with the moon, the solar eclipse influencing both Venus and Uranus, it kind of somewhat be confusing. But I think what I should do is bring them together, and it's like I feel like with Venus also being involved, it may in a sense harmonize and bring more balance and equilibrium to the dynamic, if you know what I'm saying. Whereas it's not so eccentric, and there may be a tendency of relating with each other more consistently. Um, but yeah, ultimately, I do see there being an opportunities being manifested when it comes to you and this individual that you're dealing with, this partner that you're dealing with. And there is an indication of love affairs being involved as well, if what I'm saying. Um, and also possibly children being involved as well. But ultimately, though, with the fifth house, with the Venus and fifth house eclipse. Hold on, my bad. I gotta look at your chart. Gotta look at the notes and everything real quick again. I think I should pretty much wrap up my thought with the Venus and Uranus sextile. Simply put, with Uranus, with the lunar eclipse sextile and the Venus, there are going to be opportunities in love and experiences with partnerships and things like that. But then with Uranus being also sextile by the moon, these dynamics may be eccentric, somewhat unreliable, and also unreliable and just untraditional as well. You know what I'm saying? But then they will be producing opportunities though. And then we also have the MC opposing the lunar eclipse, right? Opposing your midheaven. So with the lunar eclipse opposing your midheaven, and we talked about with the lunar eclipse being in Libra, partnership is involved. There may be this energy of like experiences with partnership that may revolve around like opposing, kind of a tug of war type energy, being in the a tug of war energy between like your relationships and your career life. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like when you were talking to me and you were explaining to me how like your desire. Hold on, your desire to want a part. Oh yeah, let me move over here real quick. Hold on, give me a sec. Like not your desire, but like how you were talking to me and explaining how like you had experiences and such experiences with this individual kind of brought forth you having a desire to want to change like career paths. I should be sitting right here, huh? Face by, yeah, it makes more sense. Like having such experiences that kind of like trigger opportunities in the area of career. And I think what I'm trying to say is I think that one of the opportunities that may arise, that may have already arisen. Like, I feel like what you were telling me about how you had this partnership and that inspired you to change career paths, I feel like I'm kind of seeing it in this reading, even though it's already happened, right? And I feel like what's happening is ultimately looking at the information, I think you would actually benefit more from taking advantage, you feel me, of the of your career path rather than of the the partnership, if what I'm saying. Hold on, let me set my camera down so I can be a little comfortable. Okay. So yeah, from what I'm seeing, like the opposition between the MC and the midheaven is like your comfort zone, dwelling within your emotions, or um, choosing to cultivate and work on some sort of career venture, you feel me? But it's kind of an energy of like not being able to have both, you feel me? Kind of having to pick one, because the opposition is an aspect that deals with separation, you feel what I'm saying? And it's like the energies become separate, and it's kind of like pick one, which one are you going to choose type energy. I hope that makes sense. Um, Alright, also, the Mars, like the transit Mars, especially on that day, it's going to be sextiling your Neptune, and that sextile is going to last a couple weeks. So it's of great importance to understand that your imagination, right, the way that you utilize your natural Pisces, natural Neptunian abilities, so your Pisces energy and the visualizations and things you choose to see are going to have a dramatic impact and influence on your actions and the things that you do choose to act on. So the way you visualize and the things you imagine are going to have a great influence on the way you direct your energy, if what I'm saying. And so this can even be like directing your energy constructively or destructively. And rather than destructively, it would be of value for you to make an effort to feed and bring energy to certain things, that will be actually in the long term good for you. And so, like, learning how to work with affirmations and writing them down, right? Because we talked about Mercury earlier and how Mercury will be trined by the solar eclipse. And so there is benefit, most definitely, for you in learning how to, not learning, but like in going about, like, hold on, taking advantage of anything that's mercurial, you feel what I'm saying? And one of those mercurial things can be writing down affirmations, like, and kind of being consistent and having a daily sort of, kind of having a daily sort of a daily sort of discipline with it. And so we also have Saturn conjunct the transit Saturn conjuncting your natal Mercury. So negatively, when Saturn is conjuncting natal Mercury, it can produce like doubtful thoughts and kind of analyzing things, but from a place of fear, because Saturn is very fearful. It deals with self-preservation, it deals with safety, and it's like in order for you to think about preserving yourself and being safe, there has to be a trigger of fear first, so Saturn pushes us towards safety through first making us afraid. So that's the negative, with Saturn aspect natal Mercury, entertaining negative thoughts, fearful thoughts. But positively, when Saturn conjuncts natal Mercury, you're kind of given an opportunity to structurize your thoughts and make systems around your way of thinking. And so learning how to, for example, making a routine where you write your thoughts down, write what you're grateful for, write affirmations, and all these things can actually be of benefit, with Saturn being in conjunct Mercury. And that would be you like utilizing that energy constructively rather than destructively. Yeah. And then we also have Pluto, sextile Mercury, the moon, and Jupiter. I think I talked about this a bit already, but just Jupiter and the moon, really. So with Pluto, right, conjuncting Jupiter, there is going to be an expansion of energy that's going to revolve around this internal transformation of like emotions, right? Like feeling emotions deeply. Maybe something like a heartbreak or something happens, and then you having a resulting feeling of emotions, right? Of deep kind. Such, yeah, I think I already talked about this. That's why I'm kind of like walking around eggshells about it. Alright, so I'm gonna touch on everything once again. Well, actually, I have other things I need to talk about. Yeah, there's more to talk about, so I need to touch back on things. So yeah, after Saturn conjunction, we already talked about Neptune. Well, the transit Neptune is going to be conjuncting your natal moon and Jupiter. That's what I'm saying. And with transit Neptune conjuncting your natal moon and Jupiter, there's going to be a more vivid, like imagination first and foremost. But like your channel into the spiritual realm is going to be more open as well. And so I feel like with that being that, there is great benefit for you in learning how to, not learning how to, but in tapping into rituals, you feel me, and doing things more intentionally and being more geared towards spirituality, is what I'm saying. So Neptune, like Uranus, Neptune's aspects, not aspects. Neptune's moons are also, they go in the reverse compared to the other planets. So Uranus and Neptune both have moons that move in the reverse direction of the other planets, and that also highlights Neptune's tendency of moving away from what is traditional and what is practical and what is accepted, and towards a more unconventional energy. You feel me? And I feel like spirituality, because Neptune very much does rule spirituality, and that's like Jupiter also very much does rule like spirituality. And I feel like we're talking about Neptune, Jupiter, Pisces, and the ninth house. All of these influences are very religious. Now, when I use the term religious, it's kind of broad, but a lot of people narrow it down and they just think